Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We did the first 3 points that Sufi Iqbal has written, that if a person wants to benefit from the bayan of the Shah Ahmad Shaheed rahmatullah alayh, then what a person is required to do. One is, we said that he has to do a cause in zikrullah, and this will help a person tremendously to gain concentration in his salah. But obviously this cause on zikrullah has to be done under the supervision and the guidance of some Shaykh Kamil. And most important after our faraiz is the correction of the heart. The heart must be corrected. When the heart of a person is corrected, then inshallah everything else will be corrected. And it says many of us make this mistake. Other a'mal, other deeds we want to correct. We give a lot of emphasis on other a'mal, whereas the actual thing is the heart. After our faraiz, give importance to the heart and the islah of a person. So how important is islah in the life of a person? So the first thing. Second thing, that we doing this cause, we are learning about how to correct our salah. This is done only for the pleasure of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, so that we can act upon the command of Allah. The command of Allah is to read namaz. We want to read a proper namaz. So to act upon the command of Allah Ta'ala, we bring this cause to please Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Make our niyat correct. It is not that we want to read such a salah of absorption, that we are absorbed and we are engrossed in salah from the beginning to the end. That not for that particular reason, but to please Allah Ta'ala. Number 3, in the salah that we perform, there has to be concentration, devotion. The heart of a person has to be present. And intentionally don't bring in other thoughts whilst you're in salah. Intentionally you don't bring thoughts that I have to do this, I have to do that, or you start thinking about something and building on that. Yes, if a person, thoughts just come on its own, he just worries about what he has to do next, then obviously that is not going to be harmful to him. And when a person goes through this difficulty where he loses concentration, he brings it back, he loses it again, he brings his concentration back, so he doesn't get that enjoyment of being totally absorbed in salah. So, and he has to go through a lot of sacrifice. Because of this, Allah Ta'ala gives him a greater reward. Now we come to the 4th point. He said, is azim daulat ka ek darja, iske ahl yani zakir wa shaghil salik ko inshallah batawfiq ilahi 5 asbaq pure karne ke baad hasil ho jayega. He said, this great treasure that we're talking about, of concentration, of devotion, etc., that one level of this, one level of concentration, one level of devotion, not complete concentration and devotion. He's just saying one level of concentration and devotion. That person that is treading the path to Allah, the salik, the one treading the path to Allah, after making zikr, after doing spiritual exercises, inshallah, with the tawfiq, with the help of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, after doing these 5 sabaks, which we are currently doing, we are on the 4th sabak, after doing these 5 sabaks, to some extent he will attain this. He will attain this concentration and devotion, inshallah. Phir isme sari umar tarakki karta rahe. Then a person must increase on this and progress on this for the rest of his life. Meaning you got this one level of concentration. Now for the rest of your life, a person must still say that my salah is not up to scratch. It is not correct. I need to progress. I need to perform a better salah. Person shouldn't remain where he is. There are 3 types of people in the world. The first type of person that you get in the world is what you call a naqid. Naqid is that person, he objects. Everywhere he goes, he looks for faults in people. Wherever he goes, he finds fault in people. Somebody's bayan he listens to, then he finds a fault in that bayan of that person. Somebody's qiraat he listens to, he finds a fault in that qiraat. Somebody was teaching, he made one small mistake, one small error here, he now picks on that person, he finds a fault. Haji Bhai Paja rahmatullah alayh used to say that wherever I go to give bayan, one person comes with his book, and all my mistakes that I make, then he only writes down the mistakes. So some people, he say, what must I do? That's in his share. So much of benefit, so much of good advices he doesn't take. But all the mistakes he writes down. Like for example, if you take a swine, and you take a swine and you put it in the garden. So the garden is so beautiful. There's roses in the garden, there's fruit trees in the garden, beautiful garden. But where does the swine, where does the pig go? It will go in the corner where there's all the dirt, and it will dig up that area. So this is one type of person. He's naqid. He finds fault in everybody. One person, he heard of one buzruk, that is a person, buzruk in a certain area. So let me go and let me take benefit from him. So he traveled a distance and he came there. So when he came there, he found that buzruk, he found that he was baking. And on his beard, everywhere there was flour. The person that is a baker, he's going to, everywhere, his whole body is going to be messed with flour. So he had flour everywhere. Now this person, he looked at him from a distance and he said, no man, this can't be a buzruk. How can a buzruk be a baker? And there is no problem. Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, they used to work with their own hands. Zakaria alayhi salatu wassalam was a carpenter. Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam, whatever armor, etc., he made with his own hands, he used to eat from there, Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam. There's a long incident behind that also. But Dawud alayhi salatu wasalam used to eat from his work with his own hands, and whatever he earned, he used to eat from there. So there's no problem with this. So many of these pious people, when we go in their company, must watch our heart. At that time, watch your heart, because Allah Ta'ala opens up many things to them as well. So Allah Ta'ala opened it up to this person, that this is what this man is thinking. So when he came, he met the Buzruk. So the Buzruk told him, see, you rather go away somewhere else. He says, you're not going to benefit over here. You got objections, you got i'tiraz in your heart, so you won't take any benefit over here. So this having objections, showing disrespect to our seniors, this harms a person. Ulama say that this is sometimes worse than gunas also. Even worse than gunas is be'adabi. That's why a person should be very careful. Allama Khalid Kurdi rahmatullahi, he was from Kurdistan, he was an Arab, and he had this desire that he wanted Allah Ta'ala. So from Kurdistan, it was a time of Hajj, so he came to Medina Sharif. In Medina Sharif, all the people, all the great ulama, buzruks, they used to have their gatherings. He used to go and sit in every gathering. So he couldn't make up his mind. So somebody told him that now it's time for Hajj, you go to Makkah Sharif. But when you're in Makkah Sharif, don't ever entertain any objection for anyone. Don't have objection for anyone in Makkah al-Mukarramah. So he went Makkah al-Mukarramah, Makkah Sharif. When he came, as soon as he entered the Kaaba, he saw one person, he's sitting with his back towards Kaaba Sharif, and his leg was stretched out. So immediately, see, the objection came into his heart. He said, that's be'adab. How can he sit like this? How can he sit like this with his back towards the Kaaba and his legs stretched out? So when he said that, when the thought just went through his mind. So that Buzruk told him, the one that was sitting there, he said, what did that man in Medina Sharif tell you? So immediately he realized, this is a pious man. So he told him, make me back. So he says, no. Your share is in India, in Delhi. So you go to Delhi, gave him the name of the Buzruk that you must go to. He said, your share has been written there. So then he went to Delhi, and then he took bay'at to his sheikh, and he spent 40 days over there. And at that time, it was the time, I think, of Shah Abdul Aziz Sahib rahmatullah alayh. So he came to visit. Allama Kurdi was Allama of his time. Allama Kurdi rahmatullah alayh. So he told him, see, this time I've given to my sheikh. This time I've given to my sheikh. So when I finish my time, I serve my 40 days here, then I will come and I will visit you. And then he went and he became the Shaykh of Allama Alusi Baghdadi rahmatullah alayh, the author of Ruhul Ma'ani. What a big tafsir. He became his Shaykh. But nevertheless, what we're saying is this be'adabi, showing disrespect, objecting to people. See, the moment he objected that why your back is towards the Kaaba Sharif, he told him that what did that man tell you in Madinah al-Munawwara? So we should be very, very careful. We should show a lot of adab. Allama Yusuf bin Nuri rahmatullah alayh. One day one person came to him and he said he's from Kashmir. So Allama Yusuf bin Nuri rahmatullah alayh, what a great alim, what a great muhaddis of his time. The Bin Nuri town madrasa, after him, named after him, Allama Yusuf bin Nuri rahmatullah alayh. So it is mentioned when this person from Kashmir came, he made his mehman nawazi, and he gave him a lot of gifts also. Some whether it was his turban or something, or kurta or something, he gave him also. And then this person went away. So the khadim that was there, he told Hazrat, he said that Hazrat, that this person came, he's a normal person, why you made so much ikram of him? Why you took care so much of him? And so much of hadiah you gave him also? So he said, didn't you hear where he came from? He says he came from Kashmir. And he says, my Ustad Allama Shah Anwaar-Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, he was from Kashmir. So he came from the same place that my Ustad is from. So how can I not make azmat, and how could I not respect such a person? So this adab is a big thing. When a person has adab, Allah gives me, I need it the most. When Allah Ta'ala gives us this, then a person, he'll go very, very far in life. When he has this adab in his life. So to go out and earn also, whether a person is a pious person, is a buzruk, is a great alim, there's no harm in this whatsoever. This person had no need to object. One senior alim, he mentioned about not his sheikh, but his sheikh, his dada sheikh, what you call. His dada sheikh. He spoke about him. He said that this person, he was a great buzruk, but he used to plow the land himself, and he used to put in the seed himself. He used to water it, he used to take care of it. He used to harvest it himself. And when the wheat used to grow, he used to then crush the wheat. He used to make flour. And together with his wife, all this, whatever he used to do, all the planting, etc., in the state of wudu. And then when with the flour, him and his wife, they would make the bread. And that too in the state of wudu. And then when he would come to the khanqa, he would bring that bread from his house and feed the people, the murids that were in the khanqa, he would feed it to them. And then he would say that, oh people, that all this I did in the state of wudu. If only, obviously it's not necessary, a person doesn't have to be in the state of wudu to eat and do all this work. He said, but only if you could eat it in the state of wudu. Where he's talking about wudu, we don't even read Bismillah. When we eat, we just sit down, we eat. Sometimes we don't even read the dua after eating, and a person is gone. So how far they went, but the point that I'm explaining, that there's no harm in a person making effort and earning his rizq and sustenance. So that's the first type of person, that a person that is naqid. The second type of person is a person that we call qani'. Qani' is a person, he is content. Wherever he is, mashallah, I'm okay. How he is reading his Quran, he is happy. My recitation is 100%, he is happy with it. How he is reading his namaz, he is happy with the way he is reading his namaz. Whatever he is doing, if he is getting 50 out of 100 in class for his marks in his examination, alhamdulillah, I got pass mark, he is happy with that. This person, he won't go far. This person, he will come down very quickly also. A person that's qani', that's very, very content with his current situation, he doesn't progress, he comes down. Like you take a ball and you throw the ball. So how hard you throw the ball, it goes up and higher and higher. But a ball will come to a certain stage that force is finished now. When the force is finished, what will happen to the ball? It comes down. And when it comes down, it comes out much more faster than when it went up. So a person that's content, he is happy with how things are going for him. I'm okay, alhamdulillah. That person, he won't go up. He will come down very, very quickly. That is called qani', person that's content. And the third person that you get is a talib. That talibul ilm. That is what actually a talibul ilm is. That he is always desirous. That what I got is not enough. I need to go further. I need to increase. If I am, for example, getting 60 out of 100 in my paper, now I need to go further. I need to get 80. If I know about a certain kitab, and the masail in that kitab, now I mustn't say, right, okay, now I got enough, I got this one kitab. No, see another kitab also. Check some other, make tahqiq somewhere else also. So a talib, he always wants to increase in his ilm also, in his examination also, and in ibadat also. Person, he is making salah, that's what he's saying, that he mustn't be content with your salah. That for the rest of your life, I got to make an effort and I got to increase the salah. I got to read a much better salah than what I am reading right now. So he says, after doing these 5 sabaqs, Sufi Iqbal says that after doing this, inshallah you'll get one level of concentration in your salah. But don't be happy and content with that level of concentration. You must increase on this for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, say, no, my salah is not right. Even right till the end of your life, when a person performs salah, no, I haven't got 100, and we can't get 100% salah. But say, I still need to increase on this. So he says, फिर इसमें सारी उम्र तरक्की करता रहे. बल्कि मगर पहले एक चिल्ले इन असबाब का खुसूसी इस्तेमाल करें. But he says for 40 days, a person must now give importance to these 5 sabaqs. See, here we don't have time. That is why we're just doing the sabaq, we're doing what is here in theory. But a person, as he goes through these things, he needs to put them into practice. 40 days he has to do all these things. And then only a person can go to the next stage. Make zikr of Allah Ta'ala 40 days with punctuality. And then move over to the next stage. So he says, ek chilla in asbaq ka khusus ihtimam kare. For 40 days, these lessons that you learn over here, give particular importance and attention to it, taaki istiqamat or pukhtagi hasil ho. So that a person, he gets istiqamat, also punctuality, and he gets firmness in whatever he is learning. Now it will become easy for him to get that proper salah. In 40 roz mein, iski bhi koshish kare कि किसी नमाज की तकबीर ऊला फौत ना हो. In these 40 days that you're practicing these sabaqs, that you should give importance to this also. You should make an effort that you don't miss salah with takbir ula. For 40 days with takbir ula, when the imam says Allahu Akbar, you also be in the masjid and you also say Allahu Akbar. You want to correct your salah. So when you want to correct your salah, you need to make an effort. So for that effort, make sure you're in the masjid with takbir ula with jamaat. For 40 days, don't miss takbir ula. Taaki nifaq se baraat hasil ho jaye. Because when you read salah for 40 days with takbir ula, what certificate you get? 2 certificates. Bara'atum minan nifaq and bara'atum minan nar. Allah gives a person freedom from the fire of Jahannam also. And Allah gives a person freedom from nifaq and hypocrisy. So he says you will get freedom from nifaq. Our salah is void of concentration and devotion. Why? No khushu, no khudu. Because of nifaq. Because of hypocrisy. So he says that Allah Ta'ala will free you from nifaq. And when Allah Ta'ala will free you from nifaq, then you will get this proper salah of concentration. So that's what he's saying. ताकि निफाक से बरात हासिल हो जाए. गफलत वाली नमाज पढ़ना ghaflat wali namaz parna munafiqat ka ek asar hai. To read a salah of unmindfulness, of ghaflat, this is the effect of hypocrisy. Because a person has got hypocrisy, that is why he is reading a namaz of ghaflat. So read your namaz 40 days in a masjid. Allah Ta'ala will free you from hypocrisy. When this hypocrisy is out of you, now you will be able to perform a salah of khushu and khudu. और हदीस पाक में आया है कि जो शख्स 40 रोज इस तरह नमाज पढ़े कि शुरू में इमाम के साथ शरीक हो और नमाज शुरू करने की तकबीर जब इमाम कहे तो उसी वक्त ये भी नमाज में शरीक हो जाए, तो वो शख्स न तो जहन्नम में दाखिल होगा और न मुनाफिकों में दाखिल होगा. It is mentioned in the hadith, same thing what I mentioned now, that that person for 40 days he performs salah in this way, that from the beginning he is with the imam, and when the imam says the takbir, then this person also joins the imam at that time when he says Allahu Akbar, when he says the takbir. So this person, he will not enter into Jahannam also, inshallah, and he will not be entered in the list of the munafiqeen and the hypocrites as well. मुनाफिक वो लोग कहलाते हैं जो अपने को मुसलमान जाहिर करें लेकिन दिल में कुफर रखते हो. He says munafiqeen are those people that they expose themselves as Muslims. To the others they show everyone, I'm a Muslim. I also come to the masjid. In the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, even a munafiq, he won't miss namaz. He will come also for namaz. He has to show everyone that I'm a Muslim. When it's time to jihad, with difficulty, with hardship, if he can get away, he gets away. But if he can't get away, he'll go in jihad also. So munafiq is that person that he exposes himself as a Muslim. लेकिन दिल में कुफर रखते हो. But in his heart, he's got kufr. In his heart, there's no iman. और 40 दिन की खुसूसियत बज़ाहिर इस वजह से है कि हालत के तगय्युर में 40 दिन को खास दखल है. He says, why particularly 40 days have been mentioned here? He says that 40 days have been mentioned here particularly because the 40-day period has a special effect in changing the condition of a person. Within a 40-day period, if somebody does something, then change comes into the life of that particular person. चुनाचे आदमी, so that is why 40 days you perform your salah in this way, and 40 days you may give importance to these 5 sabaq, these 5 asbab, so that this can come into your life. तो चुनाचे आदमी की पैदाइश के तरतीब जिस हदीस में आई है, इसमें 40 दिन नुत्फा रहना, फिर गोश्त का टुकड़ा 40 दिन तक. He says that in the hadith where it has been mentioned the sequence of the creation of the child that is in the womb of the mother. So every 40 days a change takes place in that child, in that baby. So he says that in that hadith it is mentioned that for 40 days it is the semen of the father that is in the womb of the mother. ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما. First it is a semen, then it becomes a clot of blood, and then the clot of blood becomes it becomes flesh, and then that turns into a bone. فكسونا العظام لحما, then we cover that bone with flesh thereafter, with skin, with flesh thereafter. So in every 40 days a change takes place. So he says that जिस हदीस में है इसमें 40 दिन तक नुत्फा रहना, that it is sperm, फिर गोश्त का टुकड़ा, then it becomes a piece of flesh, a piece of meat, 40 दिन तक for 40 days. इसी तरह 40 दिन इसका तगय्युर जिक्र फरमाया है. Says that every 40 days a change takes place in that child. इसी वजह से सूफिया के यहाँ चिल्ला भी खास अहमियत रखता है. Says that is why when you go by the Sufis, when you go by the Ahlullah, the friends of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, this 40-day period holds great importance for 40 days. To the extent that in the previous times, when people used to go into the khanqahs, they used to fast 40 days. And in the 40 days that they used to fast, at the time of iftar, they only used to have a sip of water, nothing else. And they start the next fast. Nothing, just for 40 days, only at iftar time, a sip of water. Obviously, we shouldn't try all these things. We should work under the supervision, the guidance of our mashayikh. That was the previous times, they had the strength also. Perhaps they, mashayikh, must have prescribed it for them. So they used to do it. So that sip of water also that they used to have it just so that their fast doesn't become makruh, the fast that they are keeping. That they breaking their fast, they're having that sip of water. And through this Allah Ta'ala used to give them a great level of ruhaniyat and spirituality. Spiritual strength Allah Ta'ala used to bless them with. So they used to do it for 40 days. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when he went for the Tawrat, وَوَعَدْنَا مُوسَى 30 layla. He went for 30 nights. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says we increase it 30 laylatan وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ. Then we completed it with 10 more. فَتَمَّ مِيقَاتُ رَبِّهِ 40 layla. 40 nights became complete. So in every 40 days a change comes in a person. That's why when you go in Jamaat also, they say 40 days, go out in the path of Allah. This is the reason that in 40 days a change, some change comes in the life of a person. कितने खुश किस्मत है वो लोग जिनकी बरसों भी तकबीर ऊला पोत नहीं हुई. He says that how fortunate are those people, for many years upon years, they haven't missed a takbir ula. Imagine what level they must be at, that every 40 days consecutively they are performing salah with takbir ula. So this is the fourth lesson that, or the fourth point that he has made mention of. And then the last point, the fifth point, पांच असबाब का निसाब और मश्क का चिल्ला पूरा कर लेने के बाद इस कोशिश में कामयाबी की अलामत यह है. He says that after finishing the syllabus, now we did 5 sabaks, this is the 5th sabak. So he's saying that after completing the syllabus of 5 sabaks, and for 40 days you made mashq, you practice upon these 5 sabaks. All the things that he has written here, you practice upon it, you brought it in your life within this 40-day period. Now what is the sign, what is the alamat, what is the sign that a person has been successful in the effort that you made to correct your salah? What is the sign now that you have been successful? When you study the whole year and then you write the exam, now when you got your mark, you know that you're successful or you're not successful. So in this also, in doing this course, how do you know that you're successful or not successful? So he says the sign is this: Azmat-e ilahi jalla shanuhu ke pesh nazar, that keeping the greatness of Allah Ta'ala in front of you. What is the position of Allah? How great is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? Keeping the greatness of Allah in front of you. अपनी इस हादिरी में यानी नमाज में बेहद कोताही करने वाला बड़ा मुजरिम समझते हुए, he says that in this presence before Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, regarding yourself, keeping the greatness of Allah, understand it, keeping the greatness of Allah before you, and in your salah, in your presence, when you came to perform salah, you're present before Allah Ta'ala. So in your presence before Allah Ta'ala, you regarding yourself as a criminal that is involved in unlimited deficiencies, unlimited faults in salah. That Allah Ta'ala is so great. And in this salah, when I'm standing before Allah Ta'ala, I'm such a criminal that so many mistakes I'm making in my salah. We know what is the condition of our salah, where our mind goes in salah. Sometimes our postures are not correct also, we're feeling tired, we're feeling lazy. We just read the namaz so that we can finish the namaz off, I can go and sleep. So he says that think, Allah is so great. And in the presence of Allah Ta'ala, I'm such a criminal that there's so much of deficiency, I cannot fulfill the rights of the salah. So, number 2. Or, अपने ऊपर करीम आका की मेहरबानी का मुशाहदा करें. And now think, how kind is Allah Ta'ala? Witness the kindness of Allah Ta'ala. Allah is so great, so much of fault in my salah, but in spite of this, look at the kindness of Allah, कि नमाज में मेरी बेअदबी और गंदगी के बावजूद मेरी हाजिरी को कबूल फरमा लिया. That in spite of my be'adabi, disrespect, I'm not even standing properly in front of Allah, I'm not even performing my salah properly, no adab in my salah, and my filth, what is in the body? In the body, one drop of blood came out, some blood had to leak out, what happened? Wuzu is gone. Some matter came out, wuzu is gone. Semen came out, your ghusl is gone. Person went to relieve himself, his wuzu is gone. So, person passed in, wuzu is gone. So what's in the body? That's so much, I'm full of dirt. In physical body also is dirt. Whereas spiritually, in my heart, so much of gunas. There's pride in me, there's jealousy in me, there's anger in me, all which is haram, all which is not permissible. So my heart is also dirty. So in spite of me being a disrespectful person, and I'm filled of dirt, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala accepted my presence. He allowed me to come and stand in salah. What is the kindness of Allah Ta'ala? Allah Ta'ala doesn't need us. Allah Ta'ala doesn't need us. As I mentioned the other day also, that two people, or what you call it, there was a master and a slave. And on one occasion, they were returning from the marketplace. When they were going home, it was time, Maghrib Salah. So the slave, he was dindar. He told the master, can I go inside the masjid, make salah and come back quickly? So he said, no problem, you go read namaz and come, I'll wait for you outside. Both are Muslim. Both are Muslim. So the master is waiting outside. He never go for namaz. And the slave, when he made namaz, after he finished his namaz, he started with his sunnats, awabin, whatever it must have been, some nafil salah. So all the people are coming out of the masjid. So then the master, he got tired. So he says that, what's wrong? Why are you not coming out? So the sound, the voice came from the unseen. He's not letting me come out. So then the master asked, he said, who's not letting you come out? He said, that one, that being, that is not allowing you to come inside. Allah Ta'ala is allowing us to come into His house, to stand before Him. This is Allah Ta'ala's kindness. So when a person, a sign of acceptance of your namaz is think a little bit of the greatness of Allah. My fault in namaz and Allah's kindness upon me, that in spite of my adabi and my filth, Allah Ta'ala is allowing me to come. Allah has accepted me to present myself before Him. In the house, the child goes outside, the child is dirty. Child gets dirty, sand, is playing outside in the sand. When the child wants to come in the house, what does the mother do? Won't allow him in the house. You can't go in the bedroom and the lounge and mess everywhere. First go to the bathroom, wash the child, give him a bath, then allow him inside. Allah Ta'ala doesn't chase us out. We got so much of impurity, Allah Ta'ala doesn't chase us out. Allah Ta'ala, so how kind is Allah Ta'ala? Allah Ta'ala allows us in His house and accepts us. कि बार हाजिरी की तौफीक दे रखी है. Again and again Allah has given us the tawfiq to come and present ourselves in His court. Mechanic, he's working with his car. When he gets dirty, he wants to come inside the house. Wife says, hey, first bath, go and clean all that oil, everything, get it off. Then you can come inside the house. Person that's dirty also, if he wants to come, he's got full oil, he wants to come in the masjid. The mutawallis won't allow him. They'll say, go, take a bath, go and wash yourself, and then you come in the masjid. But in spite of our gunas, which is worse than that oil, and worse than that sand, that in spite of that, Allah, our adabi, Allah accepts us. If we make adabi before the ustad will kick us out of the class. Adabi before some other senior person, he won't want to know us, he won't want to see us. You got no respect, you don't know how to talk to me. He'll kick us out. Allah Ta'ala, in spite of our adabi, He still allows us. Iska shukr kare, make shukr, Ya Allah. I am the worst, Ya Allah. I don't know adab, I don't know respect, Allah. I am filled with gunas from head to toe, Ya Allah. So many illnesses and sicknesses in my heart. How much of gunas in my heart. You hid me from the people, O Allah. O Allah, I make shukr, you giving me the tawfiq to come in your house. O Allah, to stand before you, to read your kalam, Ya Allah, the Quran Sharif, which came through via Jibreel alayhi salam to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. What a great kitab. Allah, you giving me the tawfiq, make shukr to Allah Ta'ala. These things we must make shukr to Allah Ta'ala for. And the more we are conscious of this, we make shukr, Allah will increase us. अगर खुदा ना खासा हालत इसके बरअक्स हो कि अब अपने को कामिल और बारू नमाज पढ़ने वाला ख्यार करे, and if our condition, Allah forbid, is opposite to this, that we regard ourselves, I'm perfect now, I can read a proper namaz. I sat 1 month in the khanqa, I learned how to read namaz. Now I got connection with Allah Ta'ala, I got concentration in my salah. If a person saying, now I'm reading a proper namaz, mashallah, and that's how you're supposed to read namaz, चाहे ये ख्याल शुक्र ही के रंग में आए कि अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मुझे अच्छी और कामिल नमाज की तौफीक हो गई है. So he says, even though this thought that I'm reading a proper namaz, it comes in the form of shukr. The thought comes that I'm reading a proper namaz, but how? As gratitude to Allah Ta'ala. That alhamdulillah, what a perfect namaz I am reading. तो खूब समझ ले कि वो अपनी कोशिश में पूरी तरह से नाकाम है. You have failed. In all your effort you made to read, to get your namaz correct, you have failed. Because a person that is trying to progress to Allah Ta'ala, the more you try to reach Allah Ta'ala, the more you realize that I'm such a bad person. The more a person, he opens his kitabs and he tries to study, he wants to go further, the more he realizes how little I know. How little I know, there's so much I don't know, sir. Because there's so much, every time he opens new kitabs, he realizes there's so much in these kitabs. I went through this kitab, I went through that kitab, but you open another one, you say, all this that I went through in those kitabs, this is all new stuff over here. So how little do I know? So he says exactly the same way when we're going towards Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, then at that time, a person starts realizing how base I am, how evil I am, how bad I am. And my ibadat also, what position does it hold? But we make shukr to Allah Ta'ala that Allah, you gave me the tawfiq. वो अपनी कोशिश में पूरी तरह से नाकाम, जहल मुरक्कब में मुब्तला है. This person is not in ignorance. As it says, this is compound ignorance. Ignorance upon ignorance. One is ignorance, where a person says, I don't know. That is ignorance. That's understood. A person says he don't know, you'll teach him. But a man, he don't know, and still he says, I know. He don't know, but what is he saying? He says, I know. That is compound ignorance. That is because of pride. He says, wo is daulat ka ahal nahi. He is not worthy of this. This great treasure, he is not worthy of. पहले जिक्र व शुगल से कल्ब को साफ करने में मशगूल हो. This person first, go and clean your heart. Go and clean your heart, make zikr of Allah Ta'ala. Do spiritual exercises and clean your heart. करने में मशगूल हो. फिर हकीकत नमाज के हासिल करने की मशक करें. Now practice to get the reality of namaz. Then, after your heart is clean, now try to get the reality of namaz. Quran Pak mein qad aflaha man tazakka wa zakara asma rabbih fasalla. Pehle zikr phir namaz. Quran Allah Ta'ala says that person that purifies himself, that person is successful. So first clean the heart. That is what khanqa is all about. That is what tasawwuf is all about. That cleanse your heart. When the heart is now clean, now what Allah says, وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّي. Make the zikr of Allah Ta'ala. What will help you to clean the heart? The zikr of Allah. وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّي. Make the zikr of Allah Ta'ala. Mention the name of Allah Ta'ala. فَصَلَّى. Now when you made zikr, when the heart has been clean, now Allah Ta'ala says, فَصَلَّى. Now read namaz. Now you will get concentration in namaz. So first here also is zikr, and after zikr of Allah Ta'ala, then Allah Ta'ala mentions فَصَلَّى. Now a person must read his namaz. 26. Now we come to the first sabak. We'll just do a few lines for the next few minutes. Ba'd hamd wa salam muta'alliq bi haqiqati salah. After praising Allah Ta'ala, sending salutation upon Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is in regards to the reality of salah. He explained in this chapter, this bayan now Hazrat Shah Ahmad Shaheed rahmatullahi has now started. So he explains what is the reality of salah. That ilahi shukr tere ihsan ka ke tune hamare dil ko roshan aur zuban ko goya kiya. He says, Ilahi wallah, we make shukr to you. It is your kindness, wallah. It is your favor, wallah, that you are the one that have enlightened this heart. You have enlightened this heart, and you have given us the ability of speech. Every bounty that we enjoy is purely and purely the ni'mat of Allah Ta'ala. Man that got a shop, he's doing very, very well in his business. What does he think? He says, hey, what a business I got. From my business, I'm earning my income. No, that business is nothing. Tomorrow your business can close down. Now lockdown came. How long? All the shops were closed. Allah was still feeding. Allah was still giving you 3 meals a day. So whatever ni'mah you enjoy is from Allah Ta'ala. So he says, shukr, we're making shukr to you, Allah, for your kindness, that you are the one that enlightened this heart. Allah, you are the one that has given me the ability of speech. और ऐसे नबी मकबूल को खल्कुल्लाह की हिदायत के वास्ते भेजा, जिसके अदना शफाअत से दोनों जहां की नियामत पावे. And he said, you have sent your accepted Nabi, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for the hidayat of the entire creation. Such a Nabi Allah Ta'ala has sent that by the minimum shafa'at and intercession of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a person will get the bounties of both the worlds. Through the shafa'at of Nabi alayhi salam, your dunya also will be made, the akhirat also will be made. So great is Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Allah Ta'ala didn't say that, just say send durood upon Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sallu ala Nabi. He didn't say that. Allah, when we send durood, how we send? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Allah sends salutation upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, and upon the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah Ta'ala himself sends salawat upon Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So great is the position of Nabi alayhi salam. So great is the position of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or it gives an example of durood. He says that durood is that ibadat like at the airport, you get the tug, the small truck. That truck pulls the big aeroplane, brings it on the runway. Then the aeroplane flies. But the truck is how small? Small little truck, but it's pulling a big aeroplane. 300-400 people sitting inside there, it's pulling. And then the aeroplane flies. He said, durood upon Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam is that ibadat that will pull all our ibadat into acceptance. That's why in dua, we first make durood. In the end, we read durood. Why? Because durood is accepted, 100%. So in the beginning of your dua is accepted, the end is accepted. So what dua you make in the middle, what happens? The durood will pull it, it will be accepted. Namaz, in the end of namaz is durood. Namaz is for Allah Ta'ala's remembrance, but we're reading durood in the end. Why? Because the durood is accepted. When it is accepted, your namaz, there might be some mistakes, but the durood will pull it to acceptance. So what is the position of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That through the shafa'at of Nabi alayhi salam, you'll get the bounties of both the worlds. Or iski rehnamai se irfan lazzat uthawe. It is through the guidance of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a person, he gets the enjoyment of the recognition of Allah. The recognition of Allah Ta'ala is so great. Inshallah, we'll mention 1 or 2 points about it, inshallah, tomorrow. That the recognition of Allah Ta'ala is so great. A person that's got Allah Ta'ala, he's got everything. But how did you get to know Allah Ta'ala? How did you get to know Allah Ta'ala? If it wasn't for Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, how would we have known about the greatness of Allah Ta'ala? So Nabi alayhi salam came and he showed us who our Allah is.